Welcome everybody to your finals. Our finals have drastically changed from what we anticipated, and we have these amazing four top players. And this is the last round. There is no round timer, notably, for the finals, so you will not see the round timer ticking down as we play through this game. I want to remind everybody that this event is raising funds for the Trevor Project. So if you have not considered donating towards the Trevor Project, it is a great cause for the LGBTQ plus community. Supports a lot of different things in that community, and I highly recommend it. We also do run monthly tournaments, and our next tournament is going to be April 6th at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. You can register for that on topdeck.gg. It is there now if you're interested in registering for it. The sooner you register, the better. Our casters are here again with Loren and Palkatina, and they are going to kick off our stream. So I will pass it over to them while I hush.
What is going on, gamers? My name is Lauren, aka MTG_hotdog. I am a cEDH event caster, tournament grinder, content creator, whatever you want to qualify as. But yeah, I have a podcast called Punt Pals where we talk. It's a comedic podcast where we talk about losing in Magic, how to bounce back from losses, etc. I do work with TopDeck.gg, formerly Eminence Gaming. I am a Dragon Shield affiliate, and my link tree, I believe someone has if they want to post that there. But I am on a lot of things, do things a lot in the community, very active on social media. Happy to be here casting this great event alongside Palkatina here, helping support the Combat Step channel. I know they're an awesome channel that's growing right now, and supporting the Trevor Project, an incredible charity helping disenfranchised, parts of members of our community, people who might need a little bit more support, LGBTQ plus members of our communities. It's an amazing charity, an amazing group, and I'm very happy to be here helping raise money for the Trevor Project. It looks like we are here in our round 4, and I'm going to be a little biased towards Josh. And Palkatina, heads up, your audio is coming through. The Josh in seat 3 here is my podcast co-host. He is known for innovative, janky brews in cEDH. He's here with Francisco Jessica. This is the first time in a Command Tower tournament Francisco Jessica has been played. So this is one of our first ever data points. And with that being said, this is the first ever this pod composition has ever happened in the 16,000 games, almost 16,000 games, according to data provided to me by Datatog on social media. Thank you. Shout out to Datatog for this data using topdeck.gg command tower data. We have Tim Necrom seat 1, Clark Sakashima seat 2, Jessica Francisco seat 3, and we have Tim Necrom in seat 4. All of these players are known in the community. I've seen their names around before. I'm biased for Josh. I'm rooting for the underdog here. Francisco Jessica taking down a tournament would be awesome. Again, first time this deck's been seen. Simultaneously, actually, there's this tournament going on in Buffalo, New York right now, and there's another player playing that. So we have two players in different sort of situations playing the same deck. First ever entries into Command Tower. So excited to see this. It's been a great day, a great tournament. Some ups and downs. It's been a little bumpy on the back end of things, but we are here with this top 4, and I think kind of ahead of schedule too. So it's an extremely exciting day, and I love watching. I think Josh is eating cereal right now. You can see his face. Love to see it. Brings a very fun, happy atmosphere. But even if he doesn't win, it is a-okay. He is near and dear. I don't want to be biased though. All these players deserve to be where they're standing. All of them have a chance to win. There's prize support on the line. Money's going to charity. Extremely, extremely exciting to watch.
Yep, I do agree as well. This is going to be a hard fight, but it will be a clean fight. No blood will be spilled.
And thank you to everyone watching right now. 21 viewers. This is awesome. Please follow the Combat Step on social media. Please donate money with our fundraiser to the Trevor Project. Please subscribe to the Combat Step on YouTube and Twitch. I'm excited. I love cEDH. I'm not as good as I wish I was, but I've been around the tournament scene for a while. I'm pretty invested in the format. I encourage you. I'm actually going to be playing my List in the next month or so here on the channel. Excited for that to debut. That you are not going to want to miss the content. They're a newer channel. It's only going to continue to get better as we grow, learn how to put on better tournaments, how to be some of the industry leading. First online event that I can think of that has a round timer on. We Combat Set's listening to players. They want to be successful. They on the back end of things for all these tournament entrants, they have to get their play area approved to play in these tournaments. We have a lot of anti-cheating measures in place. This is the pinnacle, in my opinion, kind of one of the standards being set for these online tournaments, and it's super exciting to see that this is the result, a successful tournament, and hopefully everyone's having fun watching. And my friend Flaming Wedge posting my link tree. Please check out all the links, all the lovely companies and people that sponsor me. I super appreciate it. Propaganda MTG, TopDeck.gg, Dragon Shield, you might have heard of them, and All Trades Media, where you can see the past priority token from Josh. Very proud to be a part of all of those, and feel free to reach out if you have any questions. But we are in the mulliganing phase, if you will. Josh sipping on some tea, it appears, and making some. He has his 7. He looked confident. I don't think I saw Josh mulligan here. Again, rooting for the underdog. I want my friend to win, but if he doesn't, like I said before, all of these players deserve to be here.
For sure. Yeah. 2 blue farm decks. And one deck that has consistently been shown to be very control-y.
So I don't know what Blue Farm is. I know what Tim Necrom is. But yeah, we have seen a lot of Tim Necrom here. The deck, like we said earlier today, it does everything you want it to do. It has one from seat 1. It has one from seat 4. These players are extremely good at navigating these situations. The deck has a litany of options available to it to get out of any given situation. Extremely powerful. Francisco Jessica, kind of a rogue deck here. This is why a lot of our tournaments are first time ever appearances on this data. This deck has World Gorger combos in it. We have a strong start too here from seat 1.
Oh,
we are starting
yeah.
off Marsh Flats into a Dark Writ.
Which gets mental misstepped? That's a weird play. Wow.
I agree with this mental misstep. You kind of you did 2 for 1 your opponent, but there's a potential Nas if you have the mental misstep here and they were going for a Nas line.
I don't think they could have gone for a Nas. They had to have
Spirit Guide Nas.
Oh yeah, that is true.
Otherwise, a Dark Ritual really just shuts them off, and you time lock your opponent. You're forcing them to use resources, or you hope they mental misstep back, resolve Dark Rit. You just slap down the Mystic Remora anyway. Love to see that mental misstep. If you don't have counter magic to deal with what's going to come from that Dark Ritual, hitting that Dark Rit with the mental misstep makes a lot of sense to me. We have a Remora, presumably passing after that. Josh patiently waiting for his turn. Maybe a follow-up play too. Jewel Lotus into Krark.
Yeah. Yep. There's the Krark.
Okay. Big turn so far. Seat 2 Krark Sakashima is saying, yeah, we're all in this bus together, but I'm going to be driving. I know they mentioned they wanted to get to bed, so maybe they're just like, I'm gonna just go sicko mode, and I'm gonna try to just win this game and go to bed, because he's playing in a tournament that starts at 4 a.m. Eastern time, so he might just be on the let's just let it ride, get in the car, loser, we're driving. Yeah. Josh kind of intently thinking, curious if he's weighing feeding the Mystic Remora. He is fetching.
Yeah, Badlands. It's going into the Badlands. Because he's very bad.
I'm wondering if he's contemplating feeding the Remora. If I'm in Josh's position, I think I do force the 2 T and K players. Decks like Jessica Francisco, they're parasitic in the way where they're going to let the other players deal with each other. You're not offering much in terms of interaction to the table. So if you are irresponsible, you can force your opponents to punish each other from your mistakes, if you will, while also, furthering your game plan.
Yeah, I kind of agree on that point for sure. Yes, did get the Badlands as we expected. Tapping it for a what in the
That
world?
is a gamble.
Oh, he's gambling for something, boys.
Curious if he's going to try to deploy Francisco early on, if he's getting a Jeweled Lotus here. Can't really crypt or Ristic in those colors. Very curious what he's thinking, or maybe he is looking for a World Gorger, hoping it gets hoping that it gets binned. You have a 1 and 7 cards in hand. 8, 2, 6. You have 7 cards in hand. You have a 1 in 7 chance if you do want your card to get binned.
Yeah.
Or he has an LED in hand looking for the breach. There's a lot of decision points right now, and this is kind of the brewer's advantage part of a deck like this.
Yeah.
Jessica Francisco has. Your lines are not clear to everyone. For shuffling, presumably a dice roll is going to come after this.
I'm not sure. It was a.
An Entomb.
Was that what he tutored for, or?
No. That's. I think he's laughing because people always call a gamble like a gamble. They always call red Entomb, so to discard an Entomb off a gamble. I think that's the humorous part right now. Josh seems like he's pretty happy with his decision. He loved this guy to death, but he wears his heart on his sleeve for better or for worse. So I'm happy to see. Interesting play. Is that a Watery Grave tapped?
Yeah. That's very bad. Because he didn't want to feed the Remora?
I still think you pay the 2 life to at least feign interaction. You're showing the table now with a tapped land that you don't have a 1 mana spell. You don't have a Vamp Tutor at end step. You've given me nothing to consider other than some sort of force of will.
So it seems like we got Slinky, drew card, pass the turn. And what else do we have?
Clerk, fetch, swing, pass?
No. Yeah, I think so, yeah.
The intensity of these games are paling in comparison to what we've seen before. A lot of our games, and again,
we got a Prairie Stream, Prismatic Vista.
Seeing that Dark Ritual get countered and this player now being blown out of the water, they've drawn a card past their last turn. That mental misstep's looking better and better. But we have the Prismatic Vista. All of these players in previous games, I think we've seen them all throughout the tournament. Maybe not Mint, but we've seen the other ones for sure. They've had very explosive starts. They've had incredibly quick, fast starts, early board positioning. We're not seeing that this time around. We are just seeing, okay, we'll take it slow. We're not going to feed the fish. It's fascinating to me. I think with Josh fetch passing, I think he might be telling the table, hey, I have a Orcish Bowmasters, especially grabbing the basic swamp. If there's for whatever reason, some sort of blood moon effect, not that would happen, you have guaranteed access to the black mana as opposed to grabbing. I guess you wouldn't grab a mountain. No, that makes sense that he would grab a swamp here. You don't really need the mountain per se. We have a Mox Diamond triggering the Remora.
I think that's what he kept his hand for.
Called it on the Orcish Bowmasters. So in response to the draw trigger, Josh is flashing in the Orcish Bowmasters. This will kill the Krark. Or it puts yeah, looks like Krark's dead. Puts C2 in an interesting position where they have an opportunity to not draw from the Remora, but I think it depends on what's in hand, but taking the card might be better. Flooded Strand fetch. Tapping out for a Tymna? What's that? Oh, Mana Vaults. Okay.
Yep.
If I'm Josh, I'm willing to bet that gamble was for an Orcish Bowmasters after seeing the Remora.
I am highly debating that as well.
And you know that your gamble was free to resolve after seeing the mental misstep be used and not fought back. Oh, I see. That was the land that was being discarded from the Mox Diamond. Understood.
Yeah.
Oh no. Okay, we're resolving it out. It was he fetched. I see. Okay. Discarded a land. This is all making sense now. I am following.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So Crom pass.
Yep.
Well, no, you're probably gonna swing in. I think
I
you
would.
swing in either at seats 1 or 2. I think. Well, the issue is Josh is also playing Adnaz, but I don't think he's the worthwhile target to swing at long term. I think it's better to swing in at seat 1, because the overall card quality of seat 1 is going to be higher.
Okay. Well, we got a Phantasmal Image. Oh, that's on the stack.
I think they're thinking about casting it, talking if they're going to have it copy a Crom to try to draw cards or take over the game with an Orcish Bowmaster. I
would.
think
Yeah.
I would do the Crom.
Yeah.
You need to start drawing cards. I think there maybe is an argument for the Orcish Bowmasters, but if you Orcish Bowmasters kill an Orcish Bowmasters, that doesn't do very much. But 2 cards drawn can kill a Crom now if you do the Orcish Bowmasters. On the flip side, if you crack out to play to make it a Crom, you now have some sort of ability to draw more cards.
Yeah. For sure, I would agree.
And with the hand that they kept, yep, it's a Crom. With the hand that they kept, that makes sense to me. We're paying 2 mana into the fish, keeping it alive. I am loving this Orcish Bowmasters more and more from Josh. You can start swinging
There is a
into
little
Croms.
bit of a problem, I see. All it takes is that one Orcish Bowmaster trigger, and he can easily destroy that Crom.
Yeah,
Because
I mean that's you run the risk of that, and I'm sure that's a part of the discussion at the table. Hey, are you going to kill my Crom? Are you going to kill my Crom? There's ways to politic out of it, though. If you go, hey, I'm going to make this a Crom and not kill your bone, and I think politicking is your most useful skill in cEDH, less so than the card. It is free to do. It's free interaction, and if you're good at it, you can basically when you sit at a table and you're good at politicking, I'm playing 4 decks.
Seems like the Crom got destroyed with the Phantasmal Image. He has a Buried Ruin into a Soul Ring.
Buried Ruin is an interesting inclusion. I like it a lot.
Yeah, it's very useful in certain kinds of decks, mainly the artifact ones.
All right. Josh's board position is incredible right now. I bet he's pretty happy with the control he has over this game. Karkashima keeps paying into the fish. Crom's really not doing anything. You just time walk to your opponent in seat 1. I'm feeling pretty good if I'm Josh.
Then we have...
Is that a Praetor's Grasp from Josh?
Yes, it is. Grasp from Josh.
Yeah, that's spice. I wonder who he is going to target with the Praetor's Grasp. Josh's deck has continued to have some very interesting cards that would kind of catch you off guard, which I very much appreciate. I like decks that you don't always know exactly what they're doing and you can't anticipate their next move. And when you come into a tournament like Josh did today with a partner pairing that you really haven't seen before, you can fly under the radar some of the time because people can't anticipate your next move, where if you're someone like Tymna Crom or Kinnan, it's sometimes very easy to anticipate what your opponent is doing next by how they're tapping or what things they are representing on their board state. And Josh, in our previous game, kind of left me hanging. I wasn't sure what to expect from his deck each and every turn, and he's continuing to do that now.
Yeah, I'm thinking this this Praetor's Grasp is either going to be for a breach or for a dockside. Dockside, I no, actually, no, it's not going to be dockside. What am I saying? Dockside.
I'm not sure if he would want to tutor for a dockside, but
dockside counts terrible. It's probably going to be a breach. I can't think of anything else that would be worthwhile. My assumption would be a breach, and then you set yourself up for next turn.
Yeah, I guess so, because if you get breach, you can then get your LED, and then possibly escape Praetor's Grasp, and then target someone, get your Thassa's Oracle, and
you go through the breach, and you have gamble in yard, so you just gamble for everything that you need.
Yeah. Did the Praetor's Grasp get countered?
I think Josh is looking at Decklists. That way nothing gets revealed. The way he's looking at his computer.
Yeah.
Yeah, whoever he targeted likely sent the deck list, and it looks like he's messaging them probably to tell them what to grab. That way the rest of the pod doesn't particularly know what is in his hand from this, and he's not revealing anything about anything to his opponents.
Yeah,
Looks like it was Mint he targeted though for that, because Mint is picking up his deck and digging through, so he chose Mint, and it very well could be the Underworld Breach, and then Josh is just going to be in a very comfy position for next turn.
Yeah, he's getting the card. I think he also DM'd him on which card he would like as well.
That's the issue with cards like that on spell table. If it's in paper, you have some cloak and dagger type ability to conceal what you're searching for, but a necessary evil of Webcam is going, hey, let me see your list. Okay, this is what I need. Please find it for me. Is it in your hand? Okay, now I have to find something else.
It is, however, in a weird way, you can actually know what if you know your deck list so well that you kind of can know which card is missing, whenever you fetch a land, you can then kind of know after the fact.
For sure, but on Webcam, it presents a very unique thing, because you are telling your opponent exactly what you're taking from the Praetor's Grasp.
Yeah, and then you also force your opponent to, in a land search, have to look and see what may be missing. And in a tournament setting, spending time to do that, I will call judge on that any day of the week if we're playing in paper.
Well, some of the combo pieces are just so obvious that you can kind of just, whenever you're just scrolling through your deck, because sometimes there are moments whenever you're trying to find like the volcanic island, and then you just don't see your Underworld Breach as well sometimes, and like people do also do that sometimes, so it's kind of hard to tell at times. So, but that's just my thought. Let's see, he's tapping 3, and what are we going to get next? You guys are not picking up my sound again, are you?
No, it's much better.
Okay, good.
Mint's
I didn't
playing
figure out this one.
his other commander here, getting out his Timna.
Didn't get punished by that Orc EB though.
Yep.
He's going in for the swing though with the Crom. Gonna get a card draw.
You paid 1. What's the Orc Master? He Orc Master over to Matt's face with the Orcish Bowmaster trigger.
Seat 1's turn here. He draws a card and passes. No land drop, no mana rock. That tells you he's hurting real bad on his resources, and he probably doesn't have much in his opening hand that he kept. I don't know what he kept if he only had the one land and no other real resources.
I'm willing to bet it was a Nas. Something, again, Bosch and I've quoted him a few times. Something that Brian always says is if your opponent isn't playing lands and isn't casting creatures or permanents, anything sorcery speed, they likely have some instant speed interaction in hand, whether that's counter magic or tutors or whatever is it. And again, if our opponents will always tell us what they have in hand, we just have to be able to listen. And we have to assume that if he's not countering, there's nothing been worth countering yet. Mm-hmm. He's not playing mana rocks. We know he doesn't have those in hand. He's not tutoring for anything. He likely doesn't have those in hand. He probably just has a bunch of interaction and no gas.
Yeah. And we did see a turn 1 try to Dark Writ into possibly what could have been a turn 1 Adnaz, so he may have just plenty of protection, and he's just going to hold up till the moment's right. Oh, dropping some cards. Luckily, they stayed on the table there, so that's good.
I could be wrong. He could just have creatures in hand that he just can't cast. I could be wrong on that Adnaz. If he had counter magic, he probably would have protected it, but that was 2 or 3 draws ago, so who knows what he has drawn into.
Timna gets wiped with the Orcish Bowmaster triggers.
That just wipes Timna off the board.
Yeah.
Oh, he gets bigger.
Discarding a Cyclonic Rift and a Muddle Mixture.
I think that tells me immediately that he probably has Underworld Breach in his hand. Because most of the time you keep that to find your Underworld Breach. That's the reason why Perplex is so good in
Jason,
Izzet
can you
decks.
send me this list? I'm curious if it's running Underworld Breach.
Yeah, I put all 4 of the lists in the casters chat.
Oh, sweet. I'm going to take a look at that section.
Yeah, it is running Underworld Breach, so he does have he really does have an Underworld Breach in his hand, otherwise he would have kept that Perplex.
Oh, no, maybe he grabbed his Mana Crypt because he's playing a proxy of a Crypt there, so maybe he didn't grab an Underworld Breach out of Mint's deck there. He may
You
have
can only get 2 drops with Perplex. Tolarian West only gets you a Mana Crypt for 0.
No. It's not Perplex. It was Muddle the Mixture. But Josh played a Mana Crypt, which likely was the card that he'd now tutored out of Mint's deck, which is interesting.
He might just be setting up the Soul Cauldron line. They needed the extra mana. Starting with a Jessica. Okay.
Yeah. This is actually a good time to actually use Jessica's 0 ability, because he can... How big is that Orc army?
If I'm shooting from the hip, I think like an 8/8.
That is going to be 24 damage. Oh, we got a Force of Negation on the Jessica. Ooh.
You can recast it. Oh, no, you can't. Not with the mana. Yes, you can. He has 5.
Yeah, but is it worth it?
He can kill seat 4 if he does that, right? Or no, the creature just has 3 times damage.
He definitely there's the Underworld Breach. So Josh did not need to take the Underworld Breach out of Mint. He took a Mana Crypt because he already had the Underworld Breach in hand.
Wow, that's a pretty good sneezy play.
And now it looks like he's gonna go.
I don't know if it's sleazy to sequence properly. I think that's just smart sequencing.
Hey, I think it was actually a good point, because if it didn't get Force of Negation, then someone was going to get hit for 24. And Mint is down to 28, if you look. So that would have been a very big problem for him. Also, that Orc army would have been massive, because Jessica has that 0 ability where you can deal 3 damage if it deals combat damage with a creature.
Yeah, the Jessica was bait, and it was bait that would have had a huge impact, extremely relevant by Josh. Don't know what you grab here. Maybe you don't have enough cards in hand. Okay, he's escaping the Entomb. Looks like it's going to get countered here, potentially. Is he posturing a Fluster? Is that what we're scared of here?
I'm not sure. So he's escaping out a... What do you escape out?
He escaped out Entomb and getting responded to with a Dispel.
Oh, that's brutal. Now I don't think he has enough cards in it. He doesn't have any way to get cards into his graveyard. Because there are ways... I think letting an Underworld Breach resolve and then counter something else that they have is very good. Because if someone casts an Underworld Breach and then you get Enduranced, you can swan. Some people have countered their own Underworld Breach just to save it, but that also gets countered.
I've never seen the Endurance player win the game.
but you've seen it not lose.
Yeah, but I don't play cEDH to not lose. I play to win, and that's how Josh plays as well. And I think that's how more people should play. You are playing with prize support. When you are playing in tournaments, when I have played in tournaments, the tournaments that I've lost and I've done poorly are the ones that I am playing to not lose. When you are playing to not lose the game, you are overcommitting resources to again not lose the game. Not losing does not translate into winning. I can not lose all I want. I can tutor for interaction. I can tutor for counter magic. I can do all of these things to not lose. They're not going to result in a cohesive game plan for me to win the game. And I think what Josh is doing here is showing that in and of itself. He is playing to win, and his opponents. He's asking the questions that his opponents had to answer. But Endurance is one of those cards where I truly have not seen the Endurance player ever win the game outside of it being used as a combo piece for your own graveyard. Because the resource committal that like a card like Endurance has just to not lose the game doesn't put you in a winning position.
Yep. Underworld Breach gets sacrificed at the end of turn. So now Josh still has a lot of resources. I think his next plan is to try and get that Jessica out again.
I'm not too worried about seat 2. I think the bottom half of the table is presenting themselves as a threat. 3 and 4 are the ones that I think can run away with this game. Josh just put a win on the stack, got taken care of. Having Karkashima have to use their resources to deal with it and tap out, I think this is seat 4's. This is Min's window, I think, to run away with this game right now.
It's a little hard for him, to be honest. He didn't get a lot of cards. That's the problem that I'm seeing. Oh, we got the Draneth. Oh, that's rough. That's going to be rough for Josh. Now he can't get his Jessica out. Presses his finger on pass priority. I need to get one of those things for me. Not gonna lie.
All Trades Media. Use promo code PuntPals for 20% off your order of $20 or more. Promo code PUNTS.
Yeah. But yeah, Draneth Magistrate now is perfect because now Josh can't get his Jessica out again. So that combo or threat is stopped. But if the Draneth Magistrate is taken out, and he's able to get his commander back, and the Orc army is still around, Josh can still have a line to win. We got another Ragavan out as well.
Mint, I think, is very much in a great position now with that Draneth Magistrate, locking out the other table. The other 3 players, commanders, is okay here. But really, it puts him in a much better position because they're going to have to commit resources, especially if those other 3 players, which we know at least 2 of them likely are on Underworld Breach. We just saw Josh was. That's going to really force a lot of resources to be used, and we already know they used a lot of resources to stop Josh's win attempt. That's going to allow Mint to really have a wide open field to do a lot of different things and maybe not face really much interaction at all.
I think that Entomb was going to be for a World Gorger. I think he was 1 card away. Get the World Gorger in graveyard, and then he had enough mana at the time for the Animate Dead loop with Orcish Bowmaster.
Yeah, that is actually true. Because I think that Entomb did get countered in the end, and Praetor's Grasp is in exile now. That is something to note.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't think in Rakdos he has any way of getting back his Underworld Breach. Really, the only thing he cares about, because he can World Gorger loop through a Draneth. That's no problem at all. So if Josh can assemble or find a discard outlet or another Entombed style effect, Unmarked Grave even, and has a Animate Dead or a Necromancy or Dance of the Dead in hand, he can still win this game.
For sure, I do agree with that part.
Pretty loudly running away with this game, in my opinion. Your Deflecting Swat and Fierce are online. Ragavan, you're going to see the Timna for 5 mana next turn, draw. minimum of 2 cards. Orcish Bowmasters kills. Oh no, maybe not, because the Orcish Bowmasters kills the Timon again. I think right now Mint just wants to figure out how to get rid of the needs to figure out how to get rid of the Orcish Bowmasters. Playing the Ragavan's a little risky. You run the you run the chance of it getting just hit by the Bowie. I'm not sure if it was dashed in or not, but
yeah, it's kind of hard to think. Yeah, so Bowmasters went on over to. Gosh, this is a little bit of a difficult game to judge now. Who's in the lead? One of the weaknesses. It's seats 4 per turn.
Seat 4 is in the driver's seat right now. Josh's win attempt was just stopped. He had no backup to do it. He could top deck a card. He's a top deck away from winning, but that's not really being in control of the game. Mint having an active Crom is very good for the table, or very good. Seat 1's not doing a thing, and they haven't shown any interaction whatsoever. And Seat 3 has blown a multitude of interaction and can't cast their Quark, which is a key component of their deck. Seat 4 is so in control of this game right now. Okay. I'm not sure what the contemplation is right now. Why we're still biding time into Combat Step, also our channel. What's up, everybody? We have an End Step, Vamp Toots. Dockside count isn't great. They might Vamp Tutor for a land if they're desperate enough. Very, very curious. I don't think you go for a Jeweled Lotus or anything like that.
Not especially with the Dranith being out. It wouldn't make... You could maybe tutor it for later, hoping that somebody deals with the Dranith, but for Mint, it may just be a land here just so that Mint can attempt to interact with the table. Being on one land only, that's kind of tough for Seat 1 to really do much of anything. We know they're not getting their commanders out anytime soon. Likely no one's going to touch that Dranith Magistrate.
Yeah, and if you are going to blow removal for the Dranith, you're tutoring for that removal for that to maybe top deck something. That just seems pretty rough.
Okay, he got a Mana Crypt out. That's.
I think we're about to slam a Ristic. Maybe that's what they were trying to Dark Ritual for.
Oh, Arcane Signet.
Okay, we have 2 mana now for the first time in the game. I think that Ragavan's about to get killed. Orcish Bowmaster trigger from the Crom draw. Damn, I'm good at this.
Yep, Ragavan gets pinged.
We're tutoring for removal. That's not the best situation. We are needing some sort of action. Even a Mystic Remora, I think, is ahead. Oh, okay. Alright. We're saying, to heck with your breach line. None of us can breach if I can't breach. We are back. Kark Sakashima's turn. Cannot tell what that is. Is that a Phyrexian Metamorph? Yep, it is. Entering as a copy of Orcish Bowmasters, killing Orcish Bowmasters.
Oof, yeah, that is another blow.
Only to make the Orc Army token. I don't think those pings will be going at Josh, so it's not a horrendous situation. It does shut off a win con, though, in the form of Orky B.
Actually, hold on. I'm actually not sure if he would want to ping the Orcish Bowmasters. Because they both need to get both of the Dranith Magistrates off the table now. So it's in their best... Personally, I would ping one of the Orcish, one of the Draniths. Not the other Orcish Bowmasters.
I don't know how much Josh cares about those Draniths, though, if he can find a way to get World Gorger into the graveyard and reanimate it.
That is true, but that's only requiring a top deck. Because, keep in mind, now they are both having blockers, so those... So... It's not going to be very much of a... Oh, yeah. So, Orcish Bowmasters does get pinged. That's fine, honestly. Because Schematic doesn't have any ways to get Kark out anytime soon. So he might as well keep the Draenei out for a little bit of a long time.
Who's Schematic? I'm sorry.
Snack.
Play
The
C2.
C2.
Got it. Yeah, no, I mean, after your win attempt gets stopped, you go into top deck mode. So that makes sense that Josh is in the position that he's in. Losing that Arcane Master is way tougher.
I think he still has a plan though. If he is able to remove both the Draenei to get his Jessica back out and start trying to deal damage with Jessica. Oh, we got a Vampiric Tutor on upkeep. Seems to have resolved.
Don't know if there's a world. Let me pull this list real quick.
He does not have world order.
He has Dualcaster Twin Flame. Maybe he's trying to set up for that.
Only 2 cards in hand.
Don't think Dockside gets us there. What's his removal suite? He might just be trying to dig now for. I don't think a wheel. Maybe he wheels, goes, I'll take a little damage, you clear the boards. Yeah, I don't know if he's going to try to set up some sort of dual caster line with Heat Shimmer or Twin Flame.
Yeah.
He's just kind of starved for color pips right now. Even an Agatha line, if you can somehow remove the Draenei. There's outs for the...
Agatha's Soul Cauldron still works through a Draenei Magistrate.
Not
because
to
it's
get your
activated.
Francisco to win the game.
Oh yeah, that is true. Oh, Crom got... Oh, he blocked with Orcish Bowmaster. Orc Army went on over towards Mint and chumped it with a Crom.
I'm assuming the connected card we're seeing will be the tutor target here. Yeah, okay. Adnaz is also reasonable.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. They are...
It's about to get countered. Oh, wow.
Wait,
The way
what?
the way he's grabbing his 2 lands, it seemed like there's counter magic. I don't think Josh thought he would get this far.
What got countered? I don't see...
No, it resolved.
Alrighty. Let's keep an eye. So you got a Lowest Petal, Wheel of Fortune, Ragavan. That's a... something.
The greedy freebooter. Or kite sail greedy.
Oh, he has a Twin Flame.
I think
Lotus.
C2 has something. He keeps touching his 2 mana.
I think he's waiting for something. Got City of Traders, Mana Confluence, Tibalt's Trickery, Rite of Flame, so he has some fast mana. Shatter Pass, Deflecting
Shatter Skull
Claw,
Smashing can kill the Draenei.
Beseech the Mirror, stops at 8, so he has 2 pieces of fast mana, and that is Rite of Flame and a... So he has a Rite of Flame and a Lotus Petal in terms of fast mana as far as I saw.
The Beseech is not usable with the Draenei, notably.
He can still get a card, though. It doesn't mean he doesn't have to bargain it. Oh.
Yeah, that doesn't seem good, though.
Wait, did he go forward? No. I think he went forward a little bit more and got a Deadly Rollick. Oh, this does not look the best.
I think you have to go deeper. You're facing down lethal on board anyway.
Unless he's seeing a line? Oh, he's not looking great. Happy.
Your wheel's not good right now.
Yeah. Oh, he has a City of Traders as well that you can use. that taps for 2.
Yeah, the issue is we're starved for color pips right now. He doesn't need colorless mana. I think you have to go deeper.
No, he can. No, he can do Shatter Skull, play his City of Traders, and still do the. I think.
And then just die to the Orc Army.
No, possibly.
I think he has to go deeper. He's facing lethal on board anyway. You're gonna lose. You have no way. I'm pretty sure C2 has counter magic. I think you have to.
Oh, he cannot. Yeah, he has to make. I don't think he has enough into X to kill both of the Dranites.
Shatter Skull is X damage up to 2 targets. Yeah.
No, it is X damage divided among targets. Divided as you choose amongst 2 target creatures. If X is 6 or more, it deals twice X instead of twice X damage divided as you choose among them instead.
I think you have to keep digging. Got a walking ballista.
Ooh.
We're so close. If next card is
Already.
Oh, I love this. I love this.
Oh, it's drum roll survey says 1 ring. Oh no! Exactly on the top.
And he goes out. What a showing from a deck that I did not expect to see in top 4.
Yeah.
Took the gamble. I would have taken the same gamble. You were facing down lethal anyway. You had to try to go for it.
For sure.
Now
Ad
the game
nauseam.
is way broken wide open. You killed a Crom on your way out, but there's no way to draw this game. Okay, so we are in the think step. That Mana Crypt is exiled, not in the yard. I believe. If it was under the control of another player. We have a judge in the chat though, so maybe the judge knows something that I don't, but I'm fairly certain that Mana Crypt. I'm going to go ask. Alright, they were confirming that it was supposed to be exiled. Yeah, unless there's a continuous game effect, that like a Gilded Drake effect, that an ability is causing cards to exchange control. When that ceases to exist, then the transfer of ownership is going back to the original card's owner, or it goes from, changes controller to the owner. But because it was under Josh's control when Josh died, that card just becomes exiled, lost to the game.
Rule 17.029.1.
So there's a 2-card combo with Thassa's Oracle and Demonic Consultation that can on-site win the game. I think the Dranites are a little bit of a MacGuffin. Locking out Krark Sakashima is pretty good. I don't know how he just cast the Timna with the Dranith out.
I think... Ooh, that may have been a... Did that happen?
Hopefully the judge pops in there for a second and says something, because that's a huge...
I think the judge is watching. I'll be right back.
That's a huge mistake there to have a
Hold on.
There's 2 Dranites on the field, so neither one of them... It happens. Sometimes it's playing over webcam. Sometimes it's harder to keep track of those things. But that's the perks of having the judge and making sure that things like that can get cleared up real quickly, because sometimes we do forget those pieces that are on our opponent's side. And it looks like Seat 2 played their Burgie, which we saw them in a previous game just generate a ton of value off the Burg. There's a Reanimate from Mint. And that looks like it may possibly resolve. Seat 2 is kind of thinking on it. They haven't passed priority on it yet.
It's a Reanimate?
I think that's a Reanimate from Mint.
I cannot tell what that card is. That's cool if that's a Reanimate.
Not a ton of options. I know there's a Ragavan on their own field, in their own graveyard.
Oh, you reanimate the Fimmage, get a Burgie, you get a Metamorph, which is a Bowmasters, then you have your own Bowmasters? Let me take a look at that list. I'm curious what card that is.
And now we're gonna Mog Salvage.
Ooh, yeah.
Kark Ashima staple. It must have been some sort of it must have been for the. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. It must have been for the Phyrexian Metamorphs, because the Orcish Bowmasters would enter as an artifact copy. We are going for it. I would love to see a wheel just start clearing out people's boards. Oh no, that wheel would be terrible. What am I saying? You don't have the. Kark Sakashima if they had a wheel, that'd be incredible. The Mog Salvage. Probably targeting the. Copy. All these alternate arts. Love that we're getting foil treatments of cards. Hate that casting you have to learn every single art. We made it a full turn cycle even after the win attempt. Love to see it. Passed. I've said it before this stream. I'm gonna say it again. Ladies and gentlemen and everybody else, whoever is here, thank you for being here. Welcome to Mid-Range Hell. This is a fascinating game.
May come just down to a war of attrition. Who can survive the longest through the Drannith Magistrates?
Yeah.
Seat 2 is going to go for a Spell Seeker.
That's going to find, if I were him, a Muddle the Mixture, so he can, when he gets a
Now, I
removal...
believe Muddle and Cyclonic Rift are in their graveyard.
Those were used already.
Oh, we got a...
Pyroblast.
Yep.
All right. Not getting anything.
We're just gonna. This game's just gonna drag on. It's gonna go down to the beats of Burgie.
They're like, hey, do you remember how we were ahead of schedule?
Oh, Merchant Scroll.
Not anymore.
We got Merchant
Get wrecked,
Scroll.
nerd. Merchant Scroll for a blue, or for an instant, not a blue instant, but an instant. Have to assume it's going to be something to remove 2 Dranniths. I'm wondering even a, oh god, what is that card? Removes, or bounces back all creatures that, with all the same name. What is that card?
I think it's Washout.
No,
Or-
not Washout. It has to. They all share a name. It's from Mirrodin. It's a 2 blue. It's 1 blue, 1 colorless instant from Mirrodin. Bounce target non-land permanent and all other permanents that share a name with it. It was played in Echoing Truth. Could be an Echoing Truth. It's a consider. Okay, we Merchant Scrolled for a consider.
That's an interesting choice for sure.
Yeah, Echoing Truth, 1 blue, 1 colorless, instant speed, return target non-land permanent, all other permanents with the same name as that permanent to their owner's hands. Definitely a Kark card.
Wonder if he may have grabbed the consider just to try to get some cards in his graveyard and maybe set up his graveyard for future Underworld Breach lines. Because what the hell else are you going to do? You can't play much with the Drannith. He's not getting out either commander under 2 Drannith Magistrates.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't have a way to deal with the 2 Drannith Magistrates, you may have... Looks like we're counting back the stack again.
No, he's
cards in
counting
his
up
graveyards.
Storm. I think he's
No.
getting ready to count up...
No, it wouldn't be Storm. He's revealing what's in his graveyard. Does he have a Delirium card in his deck? Is he trying to count to see if he's got Delirium?
I think he could be Dig Through Time as well, because
No,
that one...
I
Yeah,
think
he has
someone's
2...
asking for a mnemonic betrayal more than likely. If
He
if
cannot
being asked to lay
do...
out- You can cast mnemonic betrayal, it just won't work.
Yeah.
If
I think
if
he's
opponents
going
are
through a
asking-
Dig Through Time or something like that, because
Snap.
I think Dig Through Time is also an instant spell with Delve as well. Unless, what was revealed off of that?
12 cards in graveyard.
What was revealed off of the Merchant Scroll?
Consider.
Okay, consider. That's a weird
Map
one.
targeting, I have to assume Dren. Oh, he was okay. He was asked to fan out his library to see what interaction was available in hand or possibly has been used already through the game, because he's going to snap the Draneth and probably attempt to go for a win here. But many times I've seen a mnemonic material cast into a into a Draneth.
That would be a very unfortunate, but Mint is... If Mint can pop that other Draenith off the field, Mint's in a... Oh, no. A deflecting swat. Maybe swatting it back to his own Draenith. Or maybe swatting it to the Bergie. To get rid of the Bergie off of seat 2's spot. We've seen the value that Bergie can make over the course of the game.
I'm wondering if it's going to be the other... No, actually, I don't think it'll be the other Draneth. I think it's going to be the Bergie. If you do the other Draneth, Mint can just recast it easily. Yeah,
it wouldn't make sense for it to be the Draneth, really. But the Bergie makes a ton of sense, because we saw what kind of value if the Draneths were removed, and he just had the Krark out, and Bergie was giving him pretty much free reign to do a lot of things.
Yeah,
you have to get the Bergie here if you don't... Looks like they're discussing... something. So he's casting something to consider to get the Bergie mana, maybe to see what he draws and what he gets.
Gotta spin, gotta find out.
Maybe do a little digging. Is that a Mindbreak trap? What is that? That's a Mindbreak trap on... Consider?
Yeah, that's a Mindbreak trap on these
deflecting swat.
Oh yeah, it must have targeted his Draneth.
Mint's targeting Draneth.
Mint would still be in a very good position to just go for it if he's got...
Yep, that's definitely what's happening. We're saying we ball, we're going for it. Really well navigated stack. This might be the end, or this Underworld Reach is about to hit, or meme bet. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's so those graveyards were fanned out for two reasons. First being, what interaction have you used, and what do you have that I can use? We have Vamp Tutor, Petal, Dark Writ, Mark Flats. So a lot of gas. Meme bet's way worse right now without having Josh in the game. We do have the Spellseeker. That makes sense. Maybe why Spellseeker was countered was to make sure you had that.
Yeah, because he gets Spellseeker for one of the... If he's got Thassa's Oracle already, he can Spellseeker for the Consultation or the Tainted Pact. Is there a creature tutor that would get him Thassa's Oracle if he doesn't have it, though? Because I believe now he has that no cards in hand. Unless his hand is off screen.
No, I believe he's hellbent.
So if he can use his opponent's graveyards to get the 2 cards he needs, he could use the Merchant Scroll too, that is in seat 2's position to get another tutor, and essentially then just tutor for the 2 combo pieces. Really, he can use the Spellseeker to tutor for one of the 2 spells, and then he can use the Merchant Scroll to tutor for a tutor.
You can also Spellseeker for Demonic Tutor, and just then find the win from there.
Yeah, he just kind of sat back and allowed, like we saw in another previous game, just sat back, and this happened in the last round with seat 1 when we saw Dixie in their pod. They just kind of sat back and watched the other players duke it out, and then seat 4, hear it again, fly it under the radar, and then allowed the other players to kind of use up all their resources and then go in for the kill when they knew that their opponents really didn't have much to interact with them. Reading the table and playing to what your opponents have is a huge strength. If you can see that coming on early at game, you don't need to, just because you're in priority. If you have interaction, you don't have to be the one to interact. You can pass and let other people do that so that you have this kind of interaction.
For sure.
Definitely. Lots of mana floating as well. Yeah, Mint Mint found their opportunity and took it. I've been extremely impressed by the patience of the winners here. We haven't seen anyone just try to jam through their win and get stopped. I feel like every win attempt has been methodical, has been surgically executed, or at least attempted to be executed with at times that really made sense to me. There was never a time where I was like, okay, that I don't get it. I'm really impressed by the players, the player quality of this tournament. It's been amazing to see just the patience that they've had.
All he has to do is show the card, and then this is going to be game. He has tutored for the card. It is on the field while he shuffles his deck. And then we do know that C2 has two tutors, essentially, where if he tutored for the one piece he needs, he can tutor for the other. We know that there is still a decent amount of cards. Seat 1 has 4 cards in hand. Presumably, you would hope for some sort of interaction, but we just saw him play a deflecting swat, and the deflecting swat was not countered, notably. So that kind of leads you to think that maybe Dixie Normus may be out of interaction here. What is that?
Underworld Breach.
There's an Underworld Breach.
Yep.
All right. And you have all the counter magic in the world from Kark Sakashima.
Yeah, you're well protected here. So unless there's any kind of weird, just balls to the walls interaction, this should be Mint's game to have. I don't see a way that the other two players can get out of this, with Mint having access to so many resources just in Kark Sakashima's graveyard there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is an impressive showing. Can crack the Lotus Petal.
Seat 1 is thinking, though, so they have some sort of interaction, and they're debating on when is the correct time to interact, because that's another part of these players are really thinking through when they're interacting, because there are certain times where maybe you let a spell like maybe not Betrayal resolve, and then you interact at a later point. It may be too far past that for that to have happened with the amount of cards that are in Kark Sakashima's graveyard, but sometimes you do have to weigh in on when do I actually interact here? When do I really want to stop this? I can let the tutor resolve and then stop what the tutor actually tutored for. Or sometimes it is better to just stop the tutor before something like this happened, because now if there was interaction from seat 1, they're going to be very hard pressed to actually resolve any of that interaction to stop what Mint is trying to do here.
No, I agree. I think that's a great point. I think, generally speaking, that is correct. You sometimes want to have a false sense of confidence and overcommit what they're doing. I think at least in this case we are past that.
Yeah, I agree.
I think Mint's winning this.
I definitely think Mint's winning this. Dixie and Seat 1 may have had interaction and may have misjudged the amount of interaction that was in Seat 2's graveyard, which is sometimes unfortunate too, because if you have interaction, you could have stopped it. It could mean the difference between your win or your loss here.
Mm-hmm. Really good point.
We're counting here. Are we counting for maybe a storm count? What are we counting here?
I was prepping for the brain freeze here, probably.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And then the question is, do you brain freeze yourself, or do you just brain freeze the Kark Sakashima player to have ungodly amounts of interaction?
Well, the meme bet's only when you resolve the meme bet. They don't go to like the meme bet area. Like the cards that were in graveyard become exiled. Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Gotcha.
you brain freeze yourself and go for the win, because upon resolution of Mnemonic Betrayal, it exiles everything that's in the yards at that time.
He has the breach. Huh.
I am wondering if maybe something got goofed here.
It looks like no cards
you can crack.
in hand.
No. I'm sorry. You can crack this pile. So there's a consider in the graveyard. There's a consider available to you, and you have a mana floating. You have a mana and a Lotus Petal, I believe. So you can vamp tutor and then consider get that card if it's like an LED or something, and then you should be able to find it from there. No.
Looks like it. I don't know if Mint thought there was already a brain freeze in the graveyard they could grab. What is that? What the heck
Some altar.
is that? Okay. I don't know what that card is that they just revealed. Looks like Mint may have maybe misjudged something, though, and thought there was another card that they don't have access to at the present moment. I don't know if they've seen the consider line that you have mentioned and whether or not they will be able to close it out, or if they oops and pass the turn. I
think they have a demonic tutor in yard, right?
There is there was a demonic tutor, but I don't know where it ended up.
Okay, so we're escaping something.
Yeah, he's trying to figure out what to escape.
Did he snap his own Dranith? He turned over his Dranith Magistrate. Oh, no, he must have tutored for some... Maybe he escaped his tutor to go get one of the other pieces he was missing. Like maybe the Brain Freeze here would be a great... Storm count is 9. He should be able to... There it is. There's the Brain Freeze.
There's the freeze. What did we find that with?
He must have tutored, but I don't know what he tutored with. I don't know that he had his own tutor available. Unless he used...
Oh, the Merchant Scroll.
Oh, he used the Merchant Scroll from seat 2 to get the Brain Freeze. And now he should be able to get there with the Storm count of 10. That should put his entire graveyard in his library almost.
It should, but it's non-deterministic. You have a possibility of not hitting your Lotus Petal, and you have a possibility of not hitting your LED.
Oh yeah, that's true.
It's statistically in your favor, but it's not deterministic.
Yes, you are right. Those could be the last couple cards in his library, and then he just doesn't... Mint does not get there.
This is actually this is a little bit of peak entertainment. This is a Underworld Breach line. I don't know if there's a better line to go for or not, but this is non-deterministic. We are at a point where this is not certain you will hit the card that you need to hit.
Yeah, he needs... How many... I think he tried to increase his Storm count to get the Brain Freeze.
You should be able to get some sort of iteration. He doesn't have Mana Crypt available. So, I mean, he could also just get blown up by a Flusterstorm right now. This is tough.
That is true, because the Seat 2 did reveal that and moved it a couple times, that Volcanic Island, showing that there was something to do with that Volcanic Island. He may have said, I've got some sort of Flusterstorm, or maybe the cat card that he revealed was revealing some sort of interaction. We also still have a blue mana available from seat 1, which also could be backup protection, and this could just be a huge blowout here for Mint. Mint could go for the win, and then 2 players could have protection available that blows him out of the water. Let's see if how far he has to go to get what he needs. I can't tell. His camera is very grainy. There's the Lotus Petal.
There's the Lotus Petal. Yeah, you're fine. You can just manually breach with the Lotus Petal. You're fine. He's got this in the bag now.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And you have the REB and your Demonic Tutor.
Yeah, that should seal it for Mint here.
There might be one piece of niche piece. I said piece. I want a quiche. That sounds good too.
Niche piece. Niche.
There might be one niche piece of interaction that we're not accounting for, but yeah, we seem like we're big chilling right now.
There he's playing the Lotus Petal, starting to show.
Loading mana seems good. We should brain freeze again.
Brain Freeze for the rest of his deck should get him there at that point. If they don't have any way to stop any of that by a Mind Break Trap effect, which that could be. We know that Seat 1 appeared to have something and maybe missed their opportune window, but if they have a Mind Break Trap here and Mint goes to crack his Brain Freeze again and you Mind Break Trap the whole stack, Mint could just be blown out of the water.
I think MBT was seen already. No, maybe not.
Nope. It looks like we're calling
All right.
it. It looks like it looks like we're going with the win for Mint.
Nice.
All right. Well, Mint takes it down on a kind of make it or break it breach line. TNK seat 4. Good stuff to see. That was I think that's the second game we've seen Mint in seat 4. They squeaked out a win to lock in their top 4 position, and they win in seat 4 again. Incredibly patient player, incredible showing by Mint. Really great stuff. I'm very impressed by their play in this tournament.
Yeah, same here.
I want to applaud all of our players. I want to applaud everyone. Let me start. Thank you so much, Jace and the Combat Step, for having us here and for running this tournament. I know you take a lot of pride and effort into making sure that play areas are checked out, to make sure you've put a lot of anti-cheating measures in place, trying to give a good name to kind of a contentious thing webcam tournaments can be. So thank you, Jace, and the Combat Step, for putting this on. Thank you for having proceeds go to the Trevor Project, which is a more than worthy charity and a nonprofit organization to receive funds from this tournament. Thank you so much to everyone who donated. Thank you to our judging staff, and huge thank you to the players and the people at home watching. We would love to have you play at the next one. I believe it's in the first week of April will be the next tournament. So if you're watching this and you want to in on this, you want me to, hopefully I'm casting the next one, but if you want me in on this to talk about your tournament, please, please play in the next one. It's so much fun to be on this side of things. It's also a lot of fun to play. We would love to see you compete next time. There's prizing on the line, cash money in your pocket in the next couple days just for playing. And thank you to our top 4. You've been a treat to follow throughout this tournament. And then I'm going to shout out Josh, seat 3, my co-host, my podcast co-host, playing Jessica Francisco for the first time ever in a Command Tower Run tournament. Probably the first time ever, to be frank. Francisco about it, but
got him.
it takes a village to make these events successful, and it's an honor to be a part of it. So thank you to everybody, especially people at home watching. I hope we brought you a little bit of entertainment and make you want to play. We would love to see you competing at the next one.
Absolutely. I echo a lot of what was said. It's been a great day overall. We've had a lot of fun with the players. We got to see a lot of what a deck box. Sorry, I got distracted. It's been a great day with our players. We really saw a lot of interesting plays. I love coming to these events and being off to the side where I'm able to just hang back and see a lot of the things that are happening. And it takes the village that it does to run these events. From everything from our judges to our staff that are checking the deck, the play areas, to our casters, to everybody involved behind the scenes that you don't even know all the things that they're doing. We really appreciate it. Our next event is going to be April 6th. It's the first Saturday of April. It is on topdeck.gg. Let me drop that in the channel here just for anybody that's interested. I highly recommend it. We do put a lot of measures in place to really keep our players safe and make sure that we are doing everything possible to make this a great event for all of our players. I thank everyone for joining us, and we are going to see everyone next time. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great, fantastic weekend.
Thank you,
You
everyone.
too, man.
Thank you.